Do you guys have any advice for like different approaches outside of these schools, outside of the language centers, like maybe working at public schools, or you mentioned international schools, it's a little tougher to get into, or private lessons even? Because I know a lot of people do private lessons.
Yeah,
tutoring.
Tutoring is like a great way to make extra money, because typically what's going to happen is you're going to get a job, and even at most schools, it's just the nature of jobs in Vietnam. They're either going to have a weird schedule, or you're not going to get maybe as many hours as you want.
Yeah.
If you want to make like over $2,000 a month, you need to teach like 25 hours or more.
Yeah.
And often schools will give you like 15 to 20, and then you're like,
you need a little more.
I would like to teach a little bit more and make a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
And then if you do tutoring, you can get like gigs for like $25 an hour or something like that. People just get approached on the street sometimes and asked if they want to tutor. Make some Vietnamese friends and like just network around a bit. You can often find those.
If you live in one of these big apartment complexes, or around them maybe even, just posting something in the apartment complex.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
People say they fill up their time with that.
I mean, just think about it. There's like 10 million people in the city.
Yeah.
It's got a growing middle class. So all the middle class people want to send their kids to English centers and get them speaking English well. But out of those people, you know, there's some English centers, but there's also people who are just like want their kids to learn directly from someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Vietnam. It's like there's so many opportunities. There's no kind of central resources for finding them, finding these jobs, but just get out there.
Hanoi, you were in Hanoi before. They have this like Facebook cover group. I mean, I don't know if you're in it or we're in it.
Cover classes.
Yeah. Oh, do they have stuff like that here?
That was bigger in Hanoi. Hanoi has more part-time teaching. Here is like you do get a more stable job generally.
Okay.
Hanoi is like people are typically working at like a bunch of different schools, covering lots of classes. It's a little bit more like flexible there, which has pros and cons. I mean, if you are organizing your own schedule, then there's a lot of extra work to kind of keep coordinating.
True, yeah.
Whereas here, you can usually get a good job with, at least a solid base of hours.
Yeah, and then you're just going to the same place every day instead of all over the city.
That as well, yeah.
Might be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for like corporate training or maybe hotel staff training and stuff like that? Or where to maybe look for those kinds of jobs?
Again, it's one of those things you just have to kind of network and network your way into them. But there's huge opportunities there and like really well paid as well. I've heard people making like $40 an hour doing corporate stuff.
Corporate stuff? Yeah. Like teaching corporate, like
just business English.
Teaching employees.
Yeah. Anyone
training courses and stuff.
Like if you have a background in business, it helps. But like it's just teaching general lingo that business people would use in conversations. So.
But then I'm assuming a lot of the time you're designing your own course and your own content and stuff, right?
Depends what they want.
I met a guy last year in Indonesia, and he just finished up teaching like a year at a resort in Koh Phi Phi.
Yeah.
So basically the resort hired him to teach the whole staff.
On PP.
And and they paid for his accommodation. They gave him accommodation and food there and money.
And how did he find the job?
Just like randomly. Yeah, he was in Koh Phi Phi and he was looking for work.
How about just online teaching?
Do it, yeah. It's actually a great idea if you want to get more hours if you've got a job. There's tons of companies. There's lots of China-based companies.
Danielle's doing that. She's leaving right after the course and she lives in Oregon. So she's going to take online back from the US.
Oh, is she?
Typically it will just be like you sign up with them, interview, most of them are kind of flexible, so you set the hours that you can do and then they'll assign you hours based on that.
Sweet.
Some have like their own curriculum, some are just like talking. Most of them have like a set curriculum you just follow, so it's not that much extra work.